Hey everybody, James Ellison here doing my last presentation from downrange. Unfortunately, I won't be there on the last class, which I'd love to be in. I really enjoyed this class. Thanks a lot, Dr. Harris, but I got deployed unexpectedly and here I am. So I'm uploading this from downrange as well, so the internet connectivity is not what it would be at home. So hopefully this is not real shuttery and you can hear everything I'm doing. Also, I wanted to incorporate the PowerPoint slides in my presentation, so what it'll be is one segment. I'll describe how the aircraft actually got in an accident. Then I'll refer to a slide. We'll click, hopefully Dr. Harris will click to the next slide for me, and then we'll go to another presentation. It'll be 3 of these YouTube links to me. So we'll start out. My presentation's on Flight 587. It's a an Airbus A300, A300-600 to be exact. It starts on the runway in New York, sitting position and hold, and they get clearance to take off. The clearance involved departing via a SID, and then the departure altitudes to with the standard instrument departure. They're clear for takeoff, and the first pilot, who's at the controls at the time, questions whether there's adequate separation between the preceding aircraft, which is a Boeing 747. It's a very large aircraft. The aircraft commander says, yes, there's plenty of separation, go ahead and continue. So the takeoff checklist is complete, they're on the roll. They rotate fine. Everything's good as far thus far in the flight, and then they're given additional clearance. Say, hey, climb maintain 13,000 and depart via the SID. So they start the turn outbound on the departure, and they encounter wake turbulence from the 747. The first encounter was a fair one. It wasn't great, but the control inputs were adequate enough that the normal flight came afterwards. So they're continuing the departure, and they enter a second encounter with the wake turbulence from the 747. This one turns out to be about the same amount of wake turbulence, the same effects on the aircraft as far as the A300 goes, but the first pilot's control inputs aren't very good at all. Turns out we'll get to the reason why the accident officially happened eventually, but at that point they enter an unusual attitude and additional control inputs that actually make parts of the aircraft dislodge from the main body and land in other areas of New York City. A mile later, and thus far like 2 minutes into the flight, it crashes into a building, killing all 260 people and 5 people on the ground. So not a good deal, but hopefully we'll learn something from it today, and those of us who fly, or maybe we'll learn something and not repeat it. The next presentation, actually the next slide, as Dr. Harris continues the next slide, will be a depiction of the flight paths coming out of the airport of the 747, which will be in dashed blue lines and dashed red lines for the Airbus 300 that actually the crash happened to. And you'll see the wind direction pushes the actual wake turbulence towards the A300, so it is accurate that the A300, as well as the data computers, show that it did experience some wake turbulence, and then the second part, and then where it crashed thereafter. So on to the next slide. I'll see you in a second.